pretty tight school. So you'll notice them when they're not being fed, they like to just go back and forth in front of this tank, and they're kind of like a little group that they don't like to let the other batfish in. So they stick together in a very tight school most of the time. If you're looking pretty close, you're going to see some celebrities in this tank. We actually have a lot of Dory, who's going to get a lot more press soon when she gets her own movie. But these are actually called surgeonfish or blue tanks. So you see a lot of Dory in this tank. But we also have some Nemo in the tank as well. So we have some Nemo right down here actually. These are called tomato clownfish. So they're related to anemone clownfish, which is what Nemo is. And so we have these guys in this tank. We also have an entire tank devoted to finding Nemo animals that you can find in the Discovery Center, which is where the cafe is. So check that out. Now, anemone fish are really cool, or clownfish in general are really cool, as well as a lot of other species of fish, because they can actually change their gender. So they can turn from boy to girl and back. So they're what's called a sequential hermaphrodite. So they start their life out as a male, and then depending on the circumstance, or sometimes depending on a life event, they'll actually turn into a girl. So anemone clownfish will live together in a little harem. And it's a bunch of boys living together with one female. And if the female dies, one of the largest males will actually take over for the female. So he'll change from boy into girl. And this is not the only fish that can do this. So lots of different species will do this during their life. So kind of a little known fact about fish. But they have this really cool ability. This guy here is a clown triggerfish. He looks kind of like a soccer ball on the bottom of his body. He's one of my favorites as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the coral reef in this tank. By show of hands, I know this is always everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
He is not a ray, he is a, sorry, he's not a shark, he's a ray. He's actually the smaller of the two sawfish. The female sawfish, I think, is lying on the ground down there. She's still down there, I think. I think she's just swimming away. You see the female, she's the largest animal in our entire aquarium, 14 feet long from nose to tail. This is a sandbar shark right here. Sandbar sharks, smaller, faster moving, always moving. Sandbars have to keep moving in order to breathe. The rough-tailed stingray, see the buckles on the tail? They're called stingrays because they have stingers. A lot of people think the stingers are right at the end of the tail, but they're not. They're about halfway down. Our stingrays don't have stingers. We do clip them, but it's not a surgery and it's nothing invasive. It's just like clipping the claws off the cat. It's made of the same thing as our fingernails. It's made out of keratin, so we just clip it down and it grows back in. And then we clip it down some more. Make sure it's safe for all the people who are touching them because you guys can get touched too. Oh, here's the female. There we go. from the end of her rostrum to the end of her tail, she's 14 feet long. And she's not a shark, she is a ray. And if you look carefully at the underside of her, you can see the resemblance to rays. And again, something interesting, if you look on the back behind her eyes, and she comes down there, you see those little holes. Now, I mentioned the sandbar sharks, the smaller, faster ones, are always moving. They have to keep moving in order to breathe. But the rays have something called, here's a sandbar shark here. So they have to constantly have the water going over their gills in order to breathe. But the rays and some of the other sharks, like the nurse sharks, have something called a spiracle, which is a hole right behind the eye that pumps water through their gills, so they can actually slow down. Even the big sand tiger sharks, the ones with all the teeth, they have a spiracle too, which is a tiny little hole if you look very carefully. They're usually moving, but they can't stop. If you wanted to, if they want to rest, they can actually sit on the ground for a few minutes to relax. Sandbar sharks have to keep moving even when they're sleeping. Get a look at their teeth. Count how many rows of teeth the sharks have in their mouth. Sharks can have up to 15 rows of teeth in their mouth. They're always making new teeth because one tooth stays in a shark's mouth for less than a week. You guys want to see a shark tooth? Have a look here. They're always falling out of their mouth. So the divers just go in there and they pick them up off the ground. You want to pick one up? You got to be very careful. It's sharp. There you go. So one shark can go through almost 50,000 teeth in their entire lifetime. They're always losing them and growing new ones.
That's pretty cool.
It keeps them really nice and sharp.
Oh, that's the it blows up again. What's it called again?
Sharks get fed 3 times a week. And a lot of people ask,
It's bigger than I thought it would be.
and the answer was 2 parts. The main part is because they're really well fed.
That's the part where you can look down and see that shark just been under it. Oh, I see. It's still going on.
Look at that.
Whoa. I think it's just chilling. Hey, do you have reception down here? so cool.
You want an apple?
Mia, let me take a picture. It's bad lighting. Did it do it?
Yeah, all you see is my glasses. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, I think they're really good. You're funny.